Welcome. In this lesson, we tackle one of the hardest parts of the AI PM role, keeping engineering, design, legal, and leadership aligned on a product whose behavior is inherently uncertain. We'll cover stakeholder mapping, tailored communication, decision rights, and how to run the alignment conversation itself. Traditional software is deterministic, but AI is probabilistic. Accuracy drifts, outputs vary, and you can't list every failure mode in advance. This ambiguity is the root of misalignment. When people don't have clear answers, they fill the gap with their own assumptions. Engineering, design, legal, and leadership each fill it differently. Your job is to be the translation layer that keeps everyone working from the same definition of success. Begin by mapping stakeholders on the classic influence versus interest grid. For AI, add a third dimension, risk sensitivity. The key insight is that legal and leadership often look low interest until a risk surfaces, then they become high influence blockers. Engage them before the crisis, during early risk reviews, rather than scrambling when something breaks. Never tell stakeholders it works. Frame model behavior in the language each group can act on. Engineers want precision, recall, and latency. Design needs to know when to surface uncertainty. Legal cares about data provenance and bias. Leadership thinks in expected value and downside risk. Always use ranges and scenarios instead of false precision. Give a real number, the failure rate, and your mitigation. A communication plan specifies who needs what information, at what cadence, in what format, and who decides what. Engineering and design need high-frequency working sessions. Legal needs milestone risk reviews backed by written memos. Leadership wants concise bi-weekly updates with a risk register. Tailor frequency and depth to each group's role in the decision. AI launches blur ownership because risk is shared across functions. RACI makes it explicit. The most important rule: every decision needs exactly one accountable owner. Shared accountability means no accountability. For a staged rollout, the PM might be accountable, with AI and legal consulted and leadership informed, unless the risk is high enough that leadership owns the call. To run the actual conversation, state the decision and its deadline clearly. Surface each person's position and the reasoning behind it. Legal's no usually hides a specific fear, so find it. Ground the debate in eval data to separate facts from opinions. Most importantly, agree on the accuracy and risk thresholds for good enough before you launch, not after. Then document the decision, the owner, and when you'll revisit it. Watch for recurring conflicts. Leadership pushing to ship before the eval bar is met, legal and product clashing over data sources, and design and engineering disagreeing on how to communicate uncertainty to users. Resolve each early by defining shared thresholds. The meta skill that ties everything together is making disagreement visible and early, so it gets resolved in a meeting, not at launch.